Hi and welcome back to my playthrough of Historia using the official solo rules plus the basically house rule variant from Fried Egg. I already left a comment that I really did some very poor planning because this should have been the first or second card I played during my first turn, because now I don't have it back and now I'm really at risk basically being overrun by the bots. I was thinking about it if I really should allow myself to take it back just to make it more interesting, but on the other hand there is still, I would say, a slight chance I'm able to survive this, so maybe I won't actually, so I will not take it back. One thing that I definitely did miss was this, what is it? Event card here, the Vesuvius. It's not like I thought it would be that it happens and triggers automatically. No, each action that you take will cost you 2 victory points. So that definitely is a difference. So I get 2 back, they get 2 back. One of those guys, I believe, only had 1 point, and I believe it was the gray player. In the end, it won't matter because they will still take their turns, actually. So I think getting this early is not that big of a deal, because later on when you have, I don't know, 50, 60 points or so, then yes, this event really does hurt or can hurt. Here you simply, I don't know, lose whatever you have so far. So right now, I could really consider only playing the revolution card here to get my cards back, and then a lot of stuff will happen actually, but I don't know yet, to be honest, because there is still a risk I might lose, but I will lose anyway. So I could also cut it short and not lose too many victory points at least. So I will definitely lose 2 points from this card here because it's still in action. And I think if I lose or not doesn't really make that big of a difference actually. This way I can really prep myself for the next final, no, not the final, it's a third round in this area, 4 rounds in total, but I could really lose this game basically at the end of my turn, and I think, why should I get time? So really, yeah, why not? Let's prep ourselves. So let's play the revolution card. So what will happen now is you will basically pick one card that you can take from the display here, and then you get basically the freshest card here too, which is in most cases always the revolution card. So in this case I get the 2 oldest one back anyway at the end of the turn, so I don't need to worry about those. So I think it's either the war card or this raid card here, and I think let's go to war instead. So this is my personal pick. This is the pick I get, so I will take it right back. And in theory, this will already trigger the end of this round here. Of course, as we are playing these cards simultaneously, at least in the multiplayer game, all the other players can still take their action. And then when we all have taken our action, we are more or less done for the round. But in this case, it's a little bit different. So before we move into here, the AI player will basically take their turns, and maybe one thing I should not forget is to use cigarettes. So I will spend 1 power cube in order to get 1 point, then I will lose 2 points because of Vesuvius here. Really a nasty card now. When I first drew this card I said, okay, what the heck, but now yeah, obviously that's really a bad card. So yeah, that's already basically the end. So I think one thing that happens now to our die, I have to check that. I think we can now reduce it by 2. When I'm calling for the revolution, I think player play the revolution card, decrement the counter die by 2 points. Exactly. So it goes down to 2. So if I will survive this turn, then at least I can play some cards before someone else is calling for a revolution. Okay, then again, we will start with a yellow bot. So let's see what happens. And yeah, here's more bad news. They will score a point, so I will award it to them right away. Then they will basically do their military action. And obviously this is bad. So whatever they do, they can really basically take anything they want from us. Then they will lose 2 points, so they're going down from 4 back to 2 points. I will do that off camera. Let's draw the next card. So let's see, that's a culture action. That's okay, because there are no wonders to take. So again, they will get a point and then they will lose a point. At least this is how the way I understand it. Does it happen afterwards or before that actually? No, I think this actually happens before. And this can be important because they can still gain points. Let's say they are at 0 points. So first of all, they have to lose 2 points and then they can take 2 points. At least I think I don't really know what happens. The effect of the event must take place before the resolution of the actions. If the player cannot provide the event request, his action has no effects. Negative VP are allowed. Negative VP are allowed. Oh, okay. Oh, that's bad. So they can go back. I was really hoping that then they maybe would not take their full turn or so if they're already on 0. Yeah, but we have to pay that before. But negative events are allowed. Events also affect Civ pods. Yeah. Okay, but in this case, I think it still didn't matter. So let's draw the next card. Again, first of all, they have to spend those points because of Vesuvius. So they are at -0. Okay, in this case, then it doesn't really matter, actually. Yeah, it doesn't really matter in this case. So they will go to -1, then they gain 1 point, so they are at 0. But good news is they will only advance their tech level by 1, which also means we dodged the first bullet here. But okay, that's not bad actually. So I think we could actually survive. Oh wow, how cool is that? But this was already the turn of the yellow player. Let's shuffle those AI cards. And then it's the gray player. Okay, tech and military gets improved. Though they lose 2 points for that. They don't gain anything, which means they're now at -1 now. Of course, they will move 1, 2 steps up here, and really surviving this is definitely our biggest concern right now. I really should have started somewhere here in the Americas. Then I would be totally fine. I could boost myself, go up to navigation, which then allows me to conquer basically any terrain, and whatever, they will take care of each other until then. So I think, yeah, this was really poor planning on my part. But yeah, I'm still learning this game. We still have 2 more cards to draw. So let's see. Again, they will do that, and we are really playing very stubborn. They will do that no matter if they can take the action or not. So in theory, they will lose 1 additional point now, which brings them down here. And third card, and yes, here it is. First of all, they will expand. They will always expand to the highest numbered region which they can reach. Right now, that's only here. I think this was already bad planning on my side too. And then they will call for this war action here, which means bam, we are out of here. I think this goes back to the used pile if I'm not mistaken. I have to check that actually, but I think it does. But yeah, they will also score those points. So overall, gray will definitely take some figures back. Problem is, this is our only cube, and if this guy does the same, he will also move in here because that's the highest number, and could go really terribly wrong. But let's have gray lose an additional 2 points, and then it's red. So again, let's shuffle those cards. Wow, this can be a really short episode and a very short playthrough. Though if I'm losing, I'm really thinking of starting all over again, actually, with all the lessons I learned, because I really enjoy it so far. It really makes a lot of fun, actually. It's great. Okay, let's make the famous cut. I think this is what Catweasel used to do. And then let's draw our first card. Okay, first of all, they will expand, and then they will try to fight. The good thing now is we are on the same military level right now, so they cannot really attack us. So in this case, they will move to India, and we dodged that bullet. I think this is the only expansion card in the deck, so here we might have been really lucky. Of course, they will still score those points, but I think that's fine because they will lose now 2 points because of Vesuvius. So they're actually going down here. Second card, so they will basically do this and that. And now they are higher. If the order would have been exactly basically the other way around, I would have lost the game. So they would have been here, then they would have conquered us. I can't believe how lucky I was here. This is insane. The problem is I have no clue how to survive the next round, because again, I have to at least be tied to one of those guys here. This is, wow. Yeah, getting military up is so incredibly important. I understand that now, especially when playing solo. Again, in the multiplayer where you cannot lose your last cube, doesn't really matter. But wow, in this experience, it's so important that you always have to have some military actions. Wow, that's insane. So let's see, final card. That's a war action, and I think this is what they can't do now, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think can win them. War is declared against the server with the most VP. No, I think there aren't any attacks possible because again they have not moved into our terrain. They're not sharing anything else. So again, we dodged that bullet here, but of course AI will still lose 2 more points. So wow, that was insane. Right now it doesn't seem to be a problem. Everything is nearby, but military is the problem. So I really have to think if I need to go here to the wheel, I believe. No, here to the forge here in order to the anvil in order to boost my military actions so that I can raise the bar much higher. But yeah, let's do the end of turn stuff. So first of all, we will score our points, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, those are the terrain points. So that's 6 points for yellow, 3 points for us, 6 points for red, and wow, that's 7 points for gray. Poof. So that's pretty much the result. Then we gain 1 extra cube, which simply goes into our use pile. So I cannot use it right away, if I recall that correctly. Then we can basically recover 1 cube for each territory, which we right now not really own or control, where we have, let's say, some meeples in, cubes in. So in this case, it's only 1. So that's better than nothing. Then again, we do this. So red doesn't get anything. We at least get 1 more cube back. That's really not bad. And as basically gray and yellow are already in this orange area, which seems to be nomadic, they will both score 1 victory point instead. Then we can untap all of our wonders. Right now it's only 1, and they don't have anything. And we get our 2 oldest cards back. And then we would determine player order. But of course we are always going first, but we also get new wonders now. We are still in era 1, so let's see what we get. That's whenever we do this, is it the war action, we get to recover 1 cube, the terracotta army. Whenever we do this research action, we get 1 cube back, the Alexandria library. So overall, all nice cards. This is a trade action, basically the same thing for all different actions. So overall, these are really great actually, because it gives you basically cubes back, and that's really key actually to have some level of cube control. And I think that's pretty much it. So let's move into the next turn of this era. One thing that we have to do is to discard this event. What turned out pretty okay for us in the end, I believe. Conscription. So whenever we do, oh wow, a military action, we get to recover 2 cubes. Oh, that's nice. That's very nice actually. So I think because I want my cards back, because we get cards back, I think I have to play the military card again, or this time really as our first action. Because of this conscription, we only, this, which happens before we are spending this, we only get 1 cube back, but that's still good enough for me. I'm not complaining. So let's spend this cube right away in order to bump our military up. So at least we are now at this point in time safe from red and yellow. Gray can still go after us, and he's the biggest threat anyway right now on the board. Problem is we can't do anything. Normally I should have been in the lead now, and then I could reclaim some of the lands or move into a territory which is lower priority, so that maybe the AI goes after the other AI or whatever it is. So I think, yeah, hate myself for that. Okay, this was our first action. All the wards are still on chieftain level, so we only move it up to 3, so we don't have to roll the die yet. So I get to take an additional action, and I think now it's time to play this card here, basically getting another wonder. So let's spend 1 cube, and I believe I want to go for the Alexandria library, because this might be the next action I'm going to take if I get another turn actually. So yeah, let's totally go for that. So let's bring it to 4, and I believe I still don't get to roll because I check pretty much when I play the card from a timing perspective if there is a 4 or not. It's all considered to be simultaneously, so that's why I don't have to roll yet. So I think, yeah, let's now play this card. So this costs me 1 cube, but because I have the Alexandria library, I get this cube right back. And of course, I still get my bump on the technology track here. And now we have to go to a 5, and now we have to roll the die. Or basically, I think we roll the die. No, of course, we roll the die first. Only if I don't succeed, then I have to bump it another space. No, we are good. So it goes to 5, so we can take another action. And again, I could choose to play my revolution card, but I think I'm not. No, let's not do that. Let's play the expand action instead. So this allows me to move one of my cubes to another terrain, and I think I have to go to a very, very unimportant one actually, really going down here, which might buy us some time actually. Don't know for real actually, but there could be a chance. And I think, yeah, let's also spend our remaining cube in order to grab an additional victory point. Hooray! Let's roll the die. 8, we are still doing okay, so we are moving up to a 6, and again I have to make a choice, but right now I'm feeling okay. So let's play this card. I keep forgetting what it is actually, and of course it's the exploit action. So I get to get 2 cubes back, but because I have Knossos, which I can tap, I get an extra 1 back. Overall, this worked out pretty okay. So yeah, let's roll those dice. Again, we are doing okay actually. So now we are at 7. And I think now it's really time to play the revolution card. So I get to choose 1 card and I get those 2 back for sure. There could be a chance I could go for another wonder or for this research. No, let's take the research card back. And I always get this latest card back here too. But now it's the AI's player's turn. And again, we start with yellow. So let's do another cut and off we go. Okay, they basically do, again, the double action here, which is really, really the worst. So they are moving 1, 2 steps up. Then they will migrate and then war. So they will move into the highest territory. They just got more power than we. So now it really doesn't turn out the way we want it to be. That's the highest terrain. Then they will fight us. So off we go. Luckily, I really did play this, but red could also go after us basically in no time. So this could be really our last turn already, or last round. But let's see what else they do. And then they bump their military up 1 more space, and they also get an extra victory point. So now it's really getting problematic. Victory point wise, I'm doing okay actually. But apart from that, wow, I'm really not in a good shape. This was the yellow player. So let's shuffle those cards. Oh man, this is bad. This is bad. Okay, another cut. And then let's go for it. Basically the same thing. So bam, bam. Then, oops, this is the wrong one. They get 1 more bump on the technology track and a victory point. And actually, I did the wrong dude. It was gray. Bam, bam. And then they get the extra bump. So they're already in this yellow zone here, which would score them 2 victory points. But of course, let's not forget the point. And then last but not least, oh, they will go for a culture action. So they will go for another point, and they will also remove the rightmost wonder from play. And now it's finally red. So again, let's shuffle like crazy. Da, 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 da. Pretty boring, I know. Then let's do another cut. I think these were only 2 cards, but I don't care. Another wonder action, so the last wonder. The terracotta army is gone too, which means they will still score an additional point. And one thing I forgot for yellow, actually, for gray I mean, is they invented the wheel, which means they get their second card, and according to the variant they will move up here now to the noble level. I'm not sure, to be honest, if this is supposed to happen or take effect immediately. I think not, so it's tough enough already. So as of the next turn they might play 4 cards instead of 3, but red still has to play a second card. That's another military action. Okay, that's bad, because now again everyone is stronger than we are and they will still score a point. Brings them to 4 points, I believe. And last but not least, oh, again, wow, we get an additional round. How awful is that? I mean, that's bad. So yeah, they get this, and yeah, they will also score another point. So they're also in this nomad area here, so they will also score a point sometime. But I think, yeah, those were all of the actions. So let's do the end of round. All of our wonders will reset. We will do this. So basically blue, us, red and yellow will score 1 point each, and gray will go for 2 points. So that's 1 and 1 and 1 and 2. And then I get my 2 oldest cards back. But the problem here really is, guys, right now I survived. I think that's good. The problem is, of course I can move up, so that's not really that big of a deal. If I would move in here, I also would get, oh, okay, maybe if I go here first, actually, then I can bump 2 steps up, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, okay, there is still a chance, and I also get an additional advisor, which could also help us. So maybe, let's not call it a day too soon. Of course, I'm really not on the map right now. I'm surviving, but again, if whatever the next card exactly would have been, this was literally the next card, then he would have basically destroyed me here and the game would have been over. So a lot of things that still can happen, but to be honest, it's still interesting. I still enjoy it, so maybe I will definitely go for another turn, and maybe I should do it right now. Yeah, why not? Come on, let's do the final turn of this era. And at the end of the era, a lot of stuff will happen. So again, we will score, but there's nothing to score from us. We will get an additional cube, we get cubes back, we will get, I think, a new leader, or we will score the leader, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Then we do this again, the government bonus, and some more cards. Overall, a lot will happen. And one thing I also forgot was to reduce the die by 2, because I took the revolution action. But yeah, which also means this could be over basically after me playing my very first card. So yeah, let's see. Okay, first card I have to play is the technology, actually. So this costs me 1 cube, but because of the library here, I get this cube right back afterwards, which is still okay. But this bumps me to here. Yeah, which is pretty cool, actually. So I have now this anvil here, and so I can play the advanced military action, and I immediately get 1 additional advisor. So let's see what we get. That's Bach. Oh, wow, that's the worst one I could get right now. He gives me a wonder right off the bat. Problem is, there aren't any wonders. So wow, what a terrible draw, actually. But yeah, let's roll the die here, and that's an 8. Okay, so we can play yet another card, so we will live. Hooray! And of course I have to play the military card now. There is no other way, because yeah, I have to play it. So I will now play the advanced action, because I have unlocked this. I can do this, so I can spend 3 of my cubes in order to bump my military track up 2 spaces, so at least I'm ahead of red, and I'm even to gray. So if something happens in the right order, I could still live for another time, and maybe then I could still prep myself for the next round or so in the next era. So yeah, maybe I can get out of this alive somehow. But yeah, I think we are already here, so let's roll this die. We are still doing okay. And now I have to really think about, because I cannot expand any further because my expand card is gone. I cannot use Bach. I cannot use... Oh yes, I can, of course. Now I'm stronger than red. Oh, that's interesting. Woo! Yeah, let's totally play this card. I could also go for a raid action, but no. Oh no, I don't need a cube for that. No, I don't need to spend a cube. Oh, that's nice. So yeah, let's totally play this. And I think I already missed one extra point. Oh no, I missed this. Oh, this was bad because... Ah, crap. What did happen was, when they moved to noble, they would advance the die by 2 and not just by 1. So in fact, I played too far. Because I was at 5, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first time I rolled, I was still doing okay. Then I should have moved to 7. So this was pretty much my, what was it? Yeah. First card was this. This would have bumped me to 7. Then I rolled an 8, I believe. I think I was okay. So this second action would still have been fine. Yeah, I played this card. Then I would have rolled another 8, I believe. And now I'm at 9 because I added this. And then I would have rolled the 8 now, actually. I think this is what happened, right? Oh man, I cannot remember. But I think that's it. I think I cannot play an additional action now. Yeah, I believe this is what it should have been. Oh man. Okay, so then I think I'm out of action. So I cannot play this action here because then I played this card and it was an 8 and I was at 9. Yeah, then it would have been over. Unfortunately, I couldn't have played this card. So they will call for revolution, but this also means this goes down to a 6 actually. And wow, this is bad actually. This is really bad. I think this is way too punishing. I think adding this by 1 is okay, but adding this 2 ticks now, I think this is too tough, because how am I supposed to reduce this? Wow, I think that's maybe another tweak that this needs. Maybe really it has to stay on this one. Actually, I think playing 4 cards is already bad enough actually, so I'm not really sure if I should play it this way actually. I think this is way too tough. Yeah, I cannot basically, because it only goes down by 2 if I play my revolution card. It should maybe go down by 4 or so, or 5 when I voluntarily do that, or when they would call for revolution, or maybe it resets to 3 or something like that. I think this would still make sense, but wow, only by 3, or maybe I'm misinterpreting this house rule. And now it really says it here. Yeah, when all Civ points are achieved in increment 1, at least one Civ point in principle increment by 2. But then if the revolution was called for the decrement, the counter died by 3 points, not down to 3 points. Maybe this could also make it work. Maybe to say, let's go down to 3 or to 2. And I think this could then still make sense. But wow, this is tough. And did I also forget to play a new event? Actually, I did. Oh man, I'm really bad. Okay, this is not bad actually, because I didn't take this action. National poem. Okay, at least here I was fine. Oh, well, I'm not sure what's going on. Too much on my mind, it seems. Okay, but I think let's call it a round. So they will now, yeah, they will now play their cards. We will start with Gray now. He's at noble level. He played 4 cards. So yeah, we will have a war action, but I think a war action will not going to happen. No, there's nothing to war, which is good. Then they will do the monument action, so they get 1 point here. And when they do this, oh man, they get an additional point here, and a military point. Are you kidding me? So they will score a point and will move up on this track here. Oh man, that's really, really bad. Then they will do another research action, which will also give them a point and another bump, but I will do that off camera. And then they will expand and war. So let's do this first. And actually, they will move in here. Yeah, absolutely. So they will move in here because that's the highest terrain. And I think that's how they choose that. Yes, the highest number that's available, So yellow will get wiped out of here. Interesting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for yellow. Let's do the red player's turn. No, actually, it's the red player. So let's do another cut. He only plays 3 cards. Oh wow, he takes this bump here. Second card, that will be a war action. I think there's nothing. No, that's a military action. What am I saying? And a point. So that's up here, and they will also score a point. And last but not least, this is now the war action, but again, there's nothing to war from them, so they will not do that. Okay, those were the yellow player's action. So let's do the red player, also playing 3 cards now. So then let's make a cut. Then yeah, let's see what happens. Okay, they will expand and then war. I think then they will simply, because the situation is as follows: there's no available terrain. They're really the weakest link right now, but I think they will still then expand into the highest terrain, even though they could lose. They will not war here because they will lose apparently. Yeah, I think, yeah. So they will move in here, but they will not call for a war action. And they can also not war us. So again, we were kind of lucky, I guess. So let's see. Oh, that's another war action, which they won't be doing. Okay. And last but not least, now they're doing the military action. But even that wouldn't have helped them because they're just even with us. Of course, they will score a point, but that's pretty much it. And I think, to be honest, as we don't have our military action card, we cannot bump ourselves up. That's a problem. Best situation here is right now we are only tied. But again, this only goes back to the poor planning on my side, that I basically played the military card in the wrong order. And this is really kind of a problem which I see with the solo rules here. They are really forced to do this military over and over again. So there is no freedom unless you're really lucky enough to choose your starting terrain accordingly. Maybe this is what I should have done. But then on the other hand, someone else would have taken all those points here. So let's say I would have started here. I would maybe be alone and could do this stuff here. I would score, I don't know, 5 points. But then someone here would go for the crazy points. So I think there was still a good reason going there, but really going after all of those would have been really a problem. So if one of those guys would have started here, maybe situation would have looked a little bit differently. But now I really don't see a way how to catch up here, because of course I could move on, but there's really not much I can do. I'm basically out of cards, and even my advisor was very poor. Let's see what would have been the next card here actually. So that's Bismarck. That would have been a cool card. So this would have bumped me an additional step up at least. So this is something which I could still make me feel, hey, yeah, there's a chance. And but now I think with Bach there's not much to do. Of course, we get new wonders out there now, and maybe let's have a look at those. So let's see, we take the level 2 wonders now. So we get a point when we do this exploit action. Nice. We get a point when we do the trade action. That is also could be nice, but would not really help us in this situation. And we get a point if we take the war action, Carcassonne. Oh, also nice game. So yeah, I think even those cards really wouldn't help me much, other than really getting some victory points, which is always nice. But I think there is no real chance now actually to get it done. And I also noticed that even the yellow player is now in the second level already. So he would also play 4 cards instead of 3 as of the next round. So I think overall there's really not much to win. So I think I will call it a game. And this is usually something I don't do, but in this case I think I may have lost it. I may want to reconsider those solo variants. I still like the, let's say, a little bit of randomness here, but I think it could be a little bit too tough to add this increment by 2 and by 3, depending on where they are, because they will really storm ahead relatively quickly. So I think I may want to keep it at 1, no matter of the level, but still they get to play more cards. I think this is still interesting. And at some point in time, maybe I really need to try it once or twice on my own to really feel confident enough to showcase you another round of Historia. So I really hope you still enjoyed my little and short playthrough of Historia. Here again, there is not really much I could have done in the next era. And still, I hope you enjoyed it somewhat. Again, a big shout out and thank you to all of my patrons so far. Again, thanks so much for your support. Check out my page on Patreon if you want to support my channel here. And yeah, hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. And until then, bye bye.